Morena.
Hey,
Kia ora,
Atamari,
Charlie.
awesome to be here.
So good. Where are you?
I'm in Motueka, tip of the South Island. Yeah, I've been down here
Beautiful
for
there
5 years.
today.
It's beautiful. There's mountains, snow on the mountains just behind me, but then there's just blue skies as well. The weather down
It's
here
a
is
beautiful day.
insane.
Yeah, it's insane. It's a beautiful day here in Auckland as well. It's like it feels like spring. I know it's not, but we've had some pretty crap weather over the last couple of weeks. So, and through a lot of the country, the weather's been pretty bad this week.
Yeah, no, it's good to have some sunshine. I kicked the kids out. The kids were like, we homeschool our kids, and they were about to set up a game of Monopoly, and I'm like, no way, get outside.
How
Go
many
play in the
kids have you
sun while
got?
we've got it. I've got two. I've got a 10-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old boy.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Mine
awesome
are. I've got
kids.
two daughters who are 16 and 17, going on 18, and we're just getting ready to the eldest one leaving home, which is a pretty
Wow, that's a massive step.
emotional time.
Yeah, I've made my kids. Well, I've tried to actually make my kids sign a contract saying they have to live with us forever.
Hey, we should do
Yeah.
I should do the formalities here. So, hey, kia ora, everyone. My name is Andy Hamilton, co-founder of Manaaki. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Join Manaaki.io. Follow us on social. And it is my absolute pleasure and honour to welcome Charlie Brown to Real Talks from Motueka. And I'm super pumped because of your background, Charlie, when I think about it, right? So music producer for 20 years. You've
Yeah,
worked with like Tiki
24
Tane,
years.
24 years. She had Shapeshifter, 660. Who else?
Double Fix from Australia. He's pretty big in the game. Worked with him. Bulletproof, the Upbeats, heaps of Rhombus, heaps of New Zealand acts. Just been doing the rounds for the last 20 years. Just music's been my everything for 2 decades now, and I just got fully immersed in it. Love it. Still, hands down music producer, and I will be. Like my ultimate dream is to be 60, 70 years old and just have this gangster studio that I can just go in and just switch a button and it's on, and I can just make music and not have to worry about, other stuff, kids, pills, work, just make music. I still feel like the best music is still yet to come from me. So, yeah.
It's pretty epic, actually. And, in preparation for this, like I've watched, we've engaged on the Manaaki site, engaged on email. And I got to tell you, I was nervous about, talking to you this morning, but the vibe that I got from you was just so awesome. Like, and following you on Discord and seeing you on Twitter, mate, you're a beautiful human, right? And I was going to say that you've got like a really strongly feminine side, but some bros don't like told that.
No, I do actually. I say that to people. I've got a huge feminine side to me. I think it's
awesome. I think the more feminine we are as bros, the better, actually.
Yeah, there's an amazing quote that I've heard a lot recently, and it's it's better to be actually, that doesn't even relate to forget me. Well, I'll say the quote, but it's like does not relate to this at all. But it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And so that's talking about like be aggressive, be not aggressive, but be powerful, be strong, but be able to maintain that and control it. And so, yeah, I mean, I grew up in a highly abusive home, and so I've my whole life I've struggled with aggression, and I've had to spend the last 30 years just learning how to control that aggression, learning how to take that and turn it into power, learning how to not let it control me. And so, yeah. And so, yeah, and I was like real angry. I was that angry guy that went around punching brick walls and making his fist bleed, punching roads. And at 20 years old, because I was angry and hated life. And so I've had to spend the last 25 years just getting that under control. And, people who know me.
Was that? No, you go.
Yeah, sorry. No, you go.
I was going to say, was there a moment that you look back and that you go, that was the moment you started to learn how to use that and channel that aggression, or was it a series of moments?
There was a moment for sure, and it wasn't. The moment wasn't. That's how I'm going to learn how to. I didn't really. Well, I'll paint the picture to make it easier. I was sitting. My dad was in jail. For doing brutal stuff to our family. My mum got a new boyfriend. I hated him. I got into a little scuffle with him. Got kicked out of home. Had nowhere to go. And this was me at 19 years old. And so 19 years of like full on emotional, physical, mental abuse, and then getting kicked out of home. So I lost that relationship with my mum at the time. And so I'm in my car, old beat up Renault, and had nothing, completely broken. And I was 100% about to drive my car into a power pole and kill myself. Like that's 100% what in my mind I was going to do. Crying, broken, like as rock bottom as I can understand you can get. And something stopped me from driving into that power pole. And I let's just say, for want of a better word, an angel touched me. I felt this feeling of like, okay, I can either do this and end my life, or I can just try and make it better. And as cliche as it sounds, but it's absolute truth. From that moment onwards, I've dedicated everything to just being the best person I can. And I'm really proud of what I've achieved through that. Like I'm a loving father. I'm a loving husband. I celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary this November.
Wow.
And it takes a lot to come from that abuse. And that abuse didn't stop at 19. Like the emotional and mental abuse continued right up until, like, it's still kind of happening, and from the person, my dad. It's just my dad. It doesn't go away. These things just kind of, and I've got an amazing relationship with my dad. He came and visited me recently, and hugs and love, and I've completely had to heal from that to grow as a person. But yeah, so that was the moment, and it's been grueling, and it's been really, really tough, but it's the most fulfilling way to live my life. And I'm one of the happiest people I know. I'm one of the hardest working people I know, and one of the I grind harder than most people I know, and it's tough, but I'm fulfilled, and that's how I was able to work with Tiki Tani and 660 and Shapeshifters, because I work hard, and I get that work ethic from my dad. So I actually said to him when he came down, I was dropping him off at the airport, and he said, I'm sorry for beating you when I was teaching you how to drive a car. And I'm like, which part in particular is he apologizing for? Because that happened for like a 10-year period. And it was like when I was 5 years old, it started. I was trying to drive this Humber 80 around our yard in Auckland, and my feet were not strong. Those gear sticks were hard they would crunch. this is like a 1960s Humber radio or something. And my feet were, I was a scrawny little 5-year-old kid, and my feet were not strong enough to push the clutch down far enough to not make the gears crunch. And he apologized for that. And I was like, you know what, Dad? I am grateful for the life that you gave us. You know, I know you were doing the best that you could with the tools that you had, because he had it rough too. But I thanked him for all of that stuff. I said, you know, for ages I hated you. I wanted to kill you. I wished you were dead. But now I see the silver lining to all of the stuff that you put us through. And I've got a relationship with my sisters and brothers and my mum that are like closer than any other family I know. And my dad used to make me work hard every day. From the moment I woke up to going to school, I'd work. And then when we got home, come home and work, like real work, like stuff that you'd get a bobcat to do, to dig up. He'd get me to do with a shovel and wheelbarrow. And I hated that work. But now I have really strong work ethic, and I owe it to that guy. And so, yeah, I don't know.
It's pretty powerful.
We're supposed to be talking about NFTs here.
I know. Well, just the thing I just want to say is say thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because it actually, your power and your reflection helps all the rest of us who are in life dealing with shit. I'm not saying the same shit, but just dealing with stuff. And, you know, one of the things that I want to ask you as a follow-up is, what, like, given your upbringing and your incredible perspective on that, which I think is incredible, how do you empower yourself in dealing with your kids so that it's not a repeat, and also so it's not a complete reverse where you shower them with so much love that because of what you had?
Man, to be honest, the biggest piece to that puzzle is having a wife that is incredible, the most amazing woman I've ever met in my life. Like, I say that to anyone I introduce her to, or whenever I go out for gigs and I'm chatting to people and I talk about her, that's how I talk about her. And I really believe that. Like I said for our last wedding anniversary, I said, you know what? I always say to people that you're the most amazing woman I've ever met. And I had to really think about whether am I just saying that out of habit, or do I really mean that? And I'm like, and I thought about it, and I'm like, I really do mean that. And so she's patient, and she's the most patient person I've met. So she teaches me a lot. But yeah, I've gone and done anger management, emotional management, emotional control courses, non-violent communication courses. I've just spent the last 2 decades just doing everything I can to better myself in that way, because I do get angry. My default is just aggression, and I've been able to interrupt that and replace it with something else. And it took me a while at first, and then just kind of slowly shorten that gap. And I'm not perfect. Sometimes I don't act the way I want to act, but I'm proud to say that.
Are you hard on yourself when that happens, or are you soft on yourself? Are you kind to yourself?
A bit of both, I guess. A bit of both. But yeah, I'm super proud of how I've raised my children. I'm super proud of the husband that I've become. And so, as much as all of this doesn't really relate specifically to NFTs, it does actually play a huge part of the journey that I've taken in the last 3 months with this Hodler Shoe project, because I've had to battle so many mental and emotional demons, so many naysayers that are like looking at me going, what are you doing? That's a dumb idea. What even is it? You're doing it wrong. And like heaps of that stuff. And I've had to really just dig in and just get dirty and gritty and just go through it. And so many times I wanted to give up, and there were so many outs for me to give up. Like, one of the bros was like, "Hey," I was a week out from the launch, and he was like, "Hey, why don't you wait for ETH2 to come out, because then it'll be cheaper gas and stuff." And I'm like, instantly, I'm like, "Yes, there's my out. Yes, that's an excuse I can use to push the project back." And then I really had to look at it and go, "Well, am I doing it for that reason, or am I doing it? Is it a fair response?" And yes, it was a fair response. And so even the
So
night
why don't you?
before, yeah, sorry.
Why don't you tell us about Hodler? I'm interested. Obviously, by the way, can you see in the background we've got a gap in our wall, which is a whole lot of NFTs and NFT memorabilia. We're coming
I'll send
to
you a
buy.
shoe. I'll send you a
No,
shoe.
well, yeah, if you can send us a shoe to be on the wall, but talk to us
Yeah.
about Hodler. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Hodler shoes. So I've been dabbling in NFTs for 18 months now, and been trying to find my way around it, learning. That's one thing I'm really good at, is just immersing myself in something fully. And I've been trying to find my angle, like something that I'm passionate about, something that I'm interested in, and something that I'm always looking at ways to do something that's different to what everyone else is doing. And so I'm like, why don't we take NFTs and attach them to physical products? I've been running a like a clothing brand called Noiseland, which is based on music merch for music lovers. And I thought, I know sneakerheads. I've got friends with just walls full of sneakers. And I'm like, attaching an NFT to a sneaker, that would be pretty cool. And so what we've done is I know that people take sneakers, don't wear them, and flip them. And so I'm like, and then they've got to like pay for shipping and send it. And there's all that trust that you need. And like some people get scammed. And I'm like, why don't we just take those purchasing rights and the exclusive rights of purchasing a sneaker, instead of having to line up for days outside a store, instead of having to jump on a raffle where it's luck of the draw whether you get to buy it or not, we wrap all of that exclusivity up into an NFT. And then the NFT can become a tradable asset. And that really got me going. It's like, whoa, I have the rights to buy this sneaker and I can sell it to you. If you want it, I can sell it to you at a price, or I can hold on to it, or I can sell it on a secondary marketplace. I can hold on to it for like a year, and then when all the other sneakers have been redeemed, then I can flip it. Like that concept is I honestly feel like that's the future of fashion. Like that's been my catchphrase. This is the future of fashion. And I believe that most brands are going to be doing this in the very near future, because everyone wants exclusive products. Everyone wants to be able to say, oh, there's only like 200 of these. Like when we run a New Zealand print, and I'm like, there's 50 of these, or there's 100 of them. They sell out like hotcakes because people like that exclusivity. And so, to be able to take a real life physical product that everyone wears and to be able to, intertwine that with an NFT, I got really excited about that. I looked around to see.
When did you start? When did you start? Like, when did
I've
you
been
go?
thinking about it for a year, and I didn't actually start the wheels in motion until 10 weeks ago. Like it's been a roller coaster 10 weeks. But that was the first
10 weeks.
Yep. We did from making the first step to go from going, okay, I'm doing it, and starting the first step to launch day was 8 weeks.
Fuck.
It was ruthless 8 weeks.
That's crazy.
Rolling 8 weeks. I know, right? And
let's play a game.
Weeks,
let's play a game, right?
Yeah.
You're allowed to mention 8 things about those 8 weeks.
Okay.
It can be 8 words or it can be 8 sentences. But we'll start at the beginning.
Okay. Beginning, crazy idea, but I think it might work. So that's one. Two, how the freak am I going to pull this off? I have no idea, but I know that I can do it.
Yeah. 3.
And I went in there with like, yeah, with that intention. 3, I can't afford it. Where the hell am I gonna get the money to do it? 4, self-doubt then comes creeping in. Because at the start there's like all this motivation, and then you get a little bit gritty and a little bit deeper and dirty, and then self-doubt crept in. And then 5, naysayers. Heaps of them. 6, oh crap, it's crunch time. I've set a date. How am I going to pull it off? 7, smart contracts and devs. That was a huge one. And then 8, okay, it's 2 minutes till launch. Is anyone going to come?
And did someone come?
Yes. Yeah. It was not, we didn't sell out. We only had 200 NFTs to sell. So I thought that was a reasonable goal. And we sold 80 of them on launch day. So I'm really happy with that. Like, yeah, I'm really happy with that.
So it's 200 shoes, and it's themed shoes according to a digital coin like Ethereum.
This is the Bitcoin shoe. So I'm
getting one of these. I'm buying.
The sentence, our marketing is, if Bitcoin was a shoe, or if Bitcoin was a person, what sort of shoe would they wear? And so I'm taking the coins, and I'm using their branded colors, and I'm creating a shoe based around that. I've had people say to me, well, where's the Bitcoin logo? And I'm like, well, I've seen shoes out there with like Bitcoin logos on it. This looks tacky. It just looks tacky. Like, it's so much more of a challenge to make a stylish shoe. This was handmade in Italy by using Italian leather.
How do you source people to just make 200?
Yeah, lots of research and pay them a fee.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, okay.
I could have gone for, there's so many print on demand shops that do like shoes. You can get like a Chuck Taylor for like $50 US, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then but I wanted to go for something quality. So we've got the gold sole there, which is the gold from the Bitcoin logo, and then the white stitching and stuff. And so I've never ever been able to afford an Italian shoe. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start a high-end luxury Italian shoe brand, and I can't afford to buy a pair of shoes myself. Like, how do you do that? And so that was my biggest challenge. And then what's cool is we got so this is the box here, and that
cool.
Artwork is on the NFT as well. So that's how we tie it in. I thought about putting the artwork from the NFT on the shoe or inside the tongue. There was an option to put it inside the tongue. But I just wanted to keep it classy. And I've been a designer for 20 years. I know what I think looks good. And I didn't want to just go down the route of just making there's NFT projects out there that have a roadmap, and they're like, oh, we're promising this, and we're going to do some merch. That merch is like an add-on. It's like a kind of last-minute add-on, and it's like some print-on-demand hoodie or T-shirt or something. I didn't want to just do that. So that's Hodler shoes. We've designed 10 shoes. I designed all of them. Built the website. but did everything from start to finish, working with devs, but doing
So
all the
did you
marketing.
contract devs?
Yes. Yep. I had to find devs that I could afford.
How'd you find them?
Oh, I went through like loads of like Upwork and Freelancer, and just had to sift through loads and loads and loads of devs. I've been working with a bunch of devs over the last, well, not a bunch, a handful of devs over the last 6 months with friends projects that I've been helping out with. And so,
Yeah.
I wasn't new to it. I had a friend from Canada who launched a project just before Christmas, and we worked with devs there. And so our job, or my job, was helping with the marketing. And so we had to work with these Russian devs called Rock and Block. And yeah, it was like $15,000 to for their services, but they were really good. Like they've done a lot of projects, had a lot of experience. And I'm like, oh, sheesh, 15 grand, that's a lot of money. The project didn't sell many. We didn't break even on the project, didn't sell enough NFTs. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, if I want to continue to work in this NFT space, I've got to learn smart contracts. And so I locked myself in a room for 150 hours, and I just watched tutorials, 150 hours worth of tutorials on YouTube on 1.5 to 2 speed, to learn how to, watching devs just write smart contracts and deploy them. And so I learned how to deploy smart contracts.
Is that so that you could manage the devs, or did you actually write them yourself?
No, I don't. I'm not a dev. I don't write them, but I need to know. I think I need to know I needed to know the process, because I've worked in digital marketing right from the start. I built my first website, hand coded it in 1999, and I've been in the web industry since then. And I've had to work with freelancers. I think I've hired 200, 300, 400 freelancers over the last 20 years. And the quotes I get for them, they all 10x what they're worth. They always try to rip you off, because in the hopes that whoever's paying them doesn't know the process behind it. And so I've learned that about, when you're contracting to people. So the only way I made sure I didn't get ripped off was I needed to know the process. And so
it's super interesting. Super interesting, your reflection, right? Which is that if you don't know something, that doesn't mean you can't do it, but you have to know about some of the building blocks to be able to work with people, because otherwise you're going to get fucked over.
Totally. Yeah, for
potentially.
Sure. Because so now I know, like I worked with a dev, and I know exactly what I want. I can find the smart contract on Etherscan that I want to replicate, and I know the functions that I need to put in there, and I know the time it takes, and I can even send them the functions. Like I'll go into a smart contract that I know has got the functions that I want, because it's all open source, right? And I can copy and paste the functions to them and say, okay, this is the smart contract I want. I want you to put these functions in. I could probably do it myself, but I don't want to miss a crucial comma or quotation marks or something that, just one little thing that I didn't get right, and then the whole thing breaks. I don't want to risk that.
Okay.
And so,
let me ask you a question. Yeah. So your mate comes to you next week, says, bro, I'm so inspired by you, what you've done with Hodler. I want to do an NFT range around, let's just say, music. And what do you say to him when he says and you know him, you know his background, and he's got no experience at all in NFTs? What's your advice?
My advice is I've found the quickest and easiest way to produce that they need, and I will just give them everything I know. Like I've made a couple of videos. I put one in the Manaaki Discord a month ago about the process I went through.
Yeah.
And I showed everything about how to do replicate what I did. I've got another one that I recorded a few days ago, which takes literally, it's a 20-minute video, and it literally, someone who doesn't know anything about NFTs can then you go through the steps in this video and launch an NFT collection. No coding necessary. I found a tool where it just writes a smart contract for you. And so I'm finding these things, and I'm like, okay, I want to share this with people. I don't want to. I just don't feel like there's some people that see things like this and they want to hold on to it and be the only ones that know about it because they can monopolize on it. I'm the complete opposite. I'll give everything I know, all the knowledge I know to people, because that's how, like, it sounds a little bit airy fairy hippie, but
No,
like things flow through me like that. Like I give knowledge and then the knowledge comes to me. And I had a chat with someone recently, and they're like, you're one of the most creative people I know. Where does that creativity come from? And I said to him, you know what?
Yeah.
I think it just comes because I act on it. Like I have a creative thought and a creative idea, and I just act on it, and then source, the universe, whatever, just goes, oh, this guy acts on creativity. Let's just keep giving it to him. And so I have this, I've got a really good way of researching and finding out things and learning stuff. And I just, like, I've been learning nonstop for 20 years, 30 years. Just, I just keep consuming knowledge, and I just keep, and I have chats with people all the time. It's like, I could be out at a party or having a chat, someone I meet. I went to go to a gardening workshop yesterday, and then someone was asking me about NFTs, and I was just like, just giving them all this stuff that I'd learned. And so, yeah, I think, so that's what I tell them. I'd show them this 20-minute video that I've just recorded, and I'm like, this is the steps. And I want to do that. I want to like educate people. Yeah.
What's been the hardest thing in the launch?
The hardest thing was dealing with the naysayers. That was the hardest thing.
Yeah.
People that I thought were supporting me, and then decided not to. People that would tell me that it's what I'm doing is not the right way to do it. And having people that I thought would come to the launch that didn't. And, and I was like, seeing out messages, like it was grueling. It was like a real grueling experience to, say from 8 weeks to go from concept, drawing a line in the sand to launch. And I really needed support. I really, really, really did.
Yep.
And then I'd go into like, communities or like kind of messages to people that I knew, or like Discords, and say, hey, I don't want you to come into my Discord to buy anything. It's just dead over here, and I'd just love you to come and say hello. I think at that point I had like 20 Discord members, and it just looked real dead. And then like they wouldn't, like, and I'm like, we're supposed to be supporting each other. And so that was the hardest part. But then on the flip side, having people like Brooke Howard-Smith, he brought heaps of people to the Discord the night before the launch. He posted up on his Instagram and
he did.
Twitter. And then when people came into the Discord the night before the launch, and then he came in and he chatted to everyone for 45 minutes. And then he said, support this project. And he's DMing me, like right
and
from
he's
the start.
Bought some.
Right. He bought
some.
He bought some NFTs, but like literally right from the start, when I put up my first post about it on Facebook, he hits me up in the DMs. He's like, we should collab. And I'm like, that really got me through, because I'm like, on one hand, some people are saying this isn't the way you should be doing it, and then on this other hand, this guy who's one of the biggest NFT projects in the world is like, we should do a collab. And so having to trust in the process, I think, and having to trust in what I was doing. And yeah, I think like it really saved me having his support and support from other people that like randomly get a message from a guy in Germany. He saw the project and he lent me money to promote it. Random dude out of nowhere. And so that was the money.
Did you think it was a scam?
No. So this is how it worked out. He sends me an email going, just asking questions about the project. And I'm like, oh, sheesh, I didn't really think about that. And then kind of being real harsh, not harsh, but just asking me those really hard questions. Like, what do you do? And we spent like the next 3 days just answering questions from him about, and it was great for me. I was like, this is a learning experience. This is what I need. I need to, I welcome these questions. And then it took like 2 weeks of just backwards and forwards. And the whole time I just thought maybe he would come and buy some shoes. And then he was like, I believe in this project so much. And then so he did. And he gave me the money. And I'm like, do you want to write up some agreement? He's like, no, I trust you. He's like, I believe in you. I trust you. I'm investing in you as a person because you're a great guy. And I believe in what you're doing. And so they had him.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. Your vibe, your energy creates those opportunities. Of course, your grind and your hard work creates the opportunity as well. But somehow you've trained yourself to be that type of person where the opportunities come to you. And of course, there's lots of rejection. And that's one of the things that we as founders have to cope with, right? We get no's the whole time. It's sort of, to me then, and you maybe answered this, but what have you loved about the last 8 to 10 weeks?
Before I get on to that, I just finished the last kind of crucial part of this last bit. No, that's all right. The guy, so that process went through, and the guy, helped me with the project. The interesting part about that is one thing that he said to me was, you know what? I sent you a really rude email the first time I messaged you. It didn't even say hello. It was just like a really ruthless line. I forget what it was, but it wasn't. It was, he said it was. He said, and my wife was upset at me that I would send such a rude email. But then you came back to me and you were really positive. And he said, and then that really got me thinking, like, wow, this guy's, the way you handled that. And so, and it really does make a difference to be nice and just polite. And I remember in that moment going, oh, I just want to write something not nice. And I'm like, well, nah, if you want to run a business and if you want to deal with customers, this is what you have to do. You have to be, nice. So anyway, so what have I loved about the 8 weeks? The feeling of having these shoes when I first arrived, like maybe 8 weeks after the first line in the sand, and having them sitting there, and I'm like, I did it. I took an idea, a crazy idea, and turned it into a physical manifestation. These shoes are sitting in my lounge, and I did it. And that feeling was amazing because I'm like, if I can do that, then I can do anything. And really believing that, like having the proof. And that's happened a lot in my life. I've DJed to 15,000 people. And I remember sitting in a lounge looking at the Chemical Brothers DJing to a crowd of 10,000 people and going, one day I'm going to do that. And New Year's Eve, Tiki Tani emceeing on my set, played just after Shapeshifter, 15,000 people, one of the biggest festivals in New Zealand. And I've done that multiple times. I played at massive gigs. And so that was the best part. And yeah, that moment lasted for, that glow lasted for like half an hour, and then it's back to the grind. Back to the grind. And when I say grind, like I get up at 6:30 every morning, and I spend 2 hours. Within 3 minutes, I'm on my exercycle, and I spend the next 2.5 hours push-ups, weights, meditating, yoga, and then straight into work. And I have like 30 minutes a day when I'm just hanging out with the kids and cuddling, but I'm just working, and I'm happy doing it. That's the thing. I don't, people around me, they're like, my wife, when she first met me, she's like, I thought you were gonna like keel over and die with the amount of work you do. But I love it. Like, I love it. It's like pumping weights. You hate the feeling of it, that it's sore, but you love the feeling of it at the same time. And so yeah, so that feeling lasted half an hour, and then we're just like, it's problem solving every day. Like, I was on the phone just before this chat, we're just trying to solve problems, like how do we get to this, how do we get to that point, then what do we do from there? It's just like constant.
Beyond the Bitcoin shoe, there's 13 other launches. What happens beyond 10 altogether? What happens beyond that?
We just release the next 10, and then the next 10, and then the next 10. We do women's shoes. When we run out, there's like hundreds of cryptocurrencies, so we're just continuously pumping them out, and then so they're every 2 weeks apart. But then when we, like in a year's time, we might do the Bitcoin 2.0 shoe. We're going to be doing like cool, crazy airdrops where, like, the Polygon shoe, I've designed a different style for it, and so we'll airdrop those to people. I'm doing like a community shoe where it's not available for sale, but we give it to people in our Discord community who help bring people to the project and help grow the project. Like, we just, yeah, there's.
I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble because, like, I've got the I can't even do it. I've got these shoes. Someone, there they are. Yeah, and I love shoes, but I'm a little bit of a fashion tragic. Like, I'm useless. So now I see all your shoes, and I'm like, fuck, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna have to buy a lot of them.
Yeah, one quick thing as well. Like, I was saying before about how I felt, upset that people I thought would come to support didn't. But then on the flip side, these other people that came in and want to support. Like, I got an email maybe 10 days ago from a guy in Dubai. He's a Kiwi guy now living in Dubai. Haven't met him before, but had a couple of random chats about, like, back in my music days. Anyway, he just messages me saying, he's a film director over there. He's like, I've got some money. I want to invest it in your project. I don't know what value I can add personally, but I just want ins. And so I had a chat with him yesterday, and he's because he's a film director. He's got heaps of contacts. He met a few weeks ago with this guy that's building a huge mall for metaverse blockchain wearables. So it's it's like 100 stores. You walk in, you talk to real people, but you don't buy any products. You buy products in the metaverse, NFTs and wearables and stuff. And he wants to take this technology and concept that I have and pitch it to him.
It's pretty cool. So, how early? Yeah. Quick question. How early are we? And how do we bring non-Web3 NFT people into this world?
I think we're early, but it's moving so quickly. In no time, we're going to be not early, if you know what I mean. Like I said to the guy, I'm like, we've got a really small window to, if we want to, really monopolize on the hyper growth of it. And so, yeah, it's not like, because I've been into like online marketing stuff since the beginning. Like it took a while to go for social media to blow up. I went through like Bebo, and then the other ones before that, and then there was Vine, and then MySpace, and then we thought MySpace was massive, and then so that took like a 10-year period. I think this is gonna happen a lot quicker. So yeah, we are early, but like 18 months ago when I first started, I thought I had missed the boat back then. I was like, but in that last 18 months, stuff's just gone so quickly. And because of my, lust for learning, I just look at what everyone's doing, and it's like, I can't even keep up with this, how quickly the technology, not in terms of like, I can't even keep up with learning about it. I can't even keep up with knowing about what's going on. Like,
yeah. But you've got to let yourself go there, though, right? Like, you can't know everything.
Yeah, no, for sure. But what I mean though is like just not even knowing that this thing is happening. Like, there's stuff that is happening with like, and I'm like, gee, whoa, yeah.
I got a question. Your music industry background and experience, how's that contributed to the NFT project?
To my NFT project in particular?
Yeah. So if you think about all your experience that you've had as a producer over 20 years and working in the music industry, is that some of that experiences that you've had helped in the NFT project?
Mainly contacts. That's been played a huge part. Like a lot of the people that came to my Discord or have supported me by spreading it through their socials and stuff have been people I met over the last 20 years. And like I had this amazing guy just email me and give me some advice about the project. Like, this, you should be thinking about that. And like, he's a DJ. And then I'm like, okay, cool. So, hit him back with what I changes I'd made. And then he keeps hitting me with for a week and a half. And I'm like, giving me so much value, telling me so much stuff, taking time to write these huge things. And I'm like, geez, this guy hasn't asked me for anything. Doesn't want a free NFT, and then I'm like, jump on a call with him. He spends 2 hours just like showing me all of this amazing stuff, just schooling me hard. Because he's like he's like fractionalizing real estate and doing some amazing stuff. And then at the end of it, I'm like, dude, thank you so much for like taking the time and energy, heaps, like over a 2-week period, to just help me out. And he's like, you know what, bro? I met you where you came like 10 years ago. You came to Perth, somewhere in Oz, and you did a gig. And I was your photographer, and you were just a really nice guy. And and so that's popped up quite a lot over the last 3 months, is like these people that have come into the Discord, and people that have bought the NFTs. They're just like people who have followed. Like, I'm like, oh, how did you find out about the project? And they're like, oh, I follow your music, or I'm a fan of
it's super powerful, because that's the universe, but the universe that you can influence by being a good person and being a kind person. I hope and believe that it can come back that way.
Yeah,
that's what's happening there. Okay, let's do some rocket questions as we wrap up. So I'm going to give you some questions, all right, and you're going to snap back at me. Right. Okay, you ready?
Okay. I
Negative
think so.
energy. Negative energy for founders. What's negative energy for you?
Doubt.
Okay. Positive energy for you.
constant forward momentum. Well, just constant momentum.
Yes. Okay.
Mm.
Do founders need to make a choice between power and wealth?
I don't think so.
Ooh. Power and wealth, or just power, or
I
just
think
wealth?
no. I think you could just find that nice, happy medium.
Any
Maybe I'm not
regrets as a
understanding.
founder? No, you're all good.
No regrets. None. I have no regrets for my last 30 years.
What do you, when you wake up in the morning and you, after your exercise, and you're getting into your mahi, getting into your work, what do you think about that you have to get right as the founder?
Just keep moving. You know
I
that
love it.
is it Nora? Just keep swimming.
Yeah.
That's been my motto lately. Constant forward momentum.
Your aspirations going forward, your dreams.
First up, I want to buy a whare for my whānau, my wife and 2 kids. And secondly, after they're sorted, I just want to spend all my time helping other people. That's it for me. That's it for me. Like, if I can make sure they're sorted, then I'll just spend the rest of my life just helping people.
I love it. When you think about Web3 and you think about NFTs, and you think about the opportunities for founders in Aotearoa, like, are there areas that you go, wow, it would be really good if people did things in these areas? Like, what do you see as the opportunities that exist for other founders to do things like you and what Brooke and the McDonald's and others are doing?
Creating micro economies using your own coin. I looked at living in communities and not have like these shells or beans where you could just create your own economy outside of the system. And we have that at our fingertips now to be able to create an economy of, like just graphic designers, for instance, or let's just say designers. So we create our own crypto coin, and then we have X amount buy-in, and then I want your services, sweet, and we just use our own coin to do that. Then you're outside the system. It's untouchable.
That's pretty cool. Now, take yourself to, well, actually 2 questions. First question is, who should I interview next? Someone you know that you go, Hammy should interview him. Don't say Brooke. I've already done him.
I'll have to think about that. Nothing's coming to mind.
Okay, you can DM me. Then the second question is, I want to take you back to the 15-year-old student at your local school. This is not the 15-year-old you, but you're going into school and the 15-year-old is saying to Charlie, what's your advice? Life advice. What would it be? What would you say?
My son's 12, and I'm teaching him and my daughter 2 main things. One is gratitude, the ability to be grateful in any situation. Real tough. That's been a mantra in our household for decades. So that's one. Learn how to cultivate gratitude from nothing. It's a muscle. And 2, learn how to manage money. And those are the 2 things that I've because I've grown up poor my whole life because of I wasn't taught, that I wasn't educated, and it's been real tough. And I'm not saying money makes you happy, but it definitely gives you a lot of space to find the true you. And so, yeah, my kids have been, since they started their own businesses 2.5 years ago, and a
Awesome.
lot of the time they're richer than me. Like they've always got money. They've always got money. Like they've got like $1,000 each in savings and crypto and in their savings account. They've always got cash on them. And I've taught them how to, like, we're giving them $5 a week pocket money. And I said to them, I'll give you the whole year's worth of pocket money in one lump sum, but there's two conditions. One, you have to start your own business and invest it. And two, this is the last money you're ever going to get from us for the rest of your life. Make a choice. And 2.5 years ago, we did that, and they've been making their money ever since. And they've been figuring out ways to do it, and they've had some failures, and they've had some successes. But it's amazing. We go to a market or something, and I'm like, okay, grab some money. How much money do you want to bring? And then they have to think about it. Like, okay, I've got, like, my daughter, she'll have go to a little cash jar. She's got $80 in there. She's like, how much do I want to spend today? And then she'll take $10 or $20 or whatever. And like, for them to have that education and work that stuff out at such a young age, amazing. So yeah,
it's very wise. I love the gratitude, and I love the opportunity that they get by acting and taking responsibility and accountability, for the money.
Yeah, totally. Because I see how much pain that's caused me over my life. If only I had just a couple of things tweaked in my financial independence and financial education, then, but on the flip side, out of that kind of struggle of being like broke most of my life, made some amazing, built some amazing strength inside me as well. So, but yeah, those are the main two things.
Can I say thank you? You're a beautiful man. You're an inspiring human. And it doesn't surprise me that you get people wanting to be involved in what you're doing. And I just want to say that it's been a privilege and an honor to chat with you. You've inspired me as well. And I think, we all can go through times when, it's never all fucking easy, right? And actually the human to human interaction that you have with other people gives you energy, and it gives this chat we've had, gives me energy, gives me hope. I'm super proud and impressed and inspired by you. And actually, what it does as well, by the way, is that it drives us at Manaaki, just like you said, to give freely to others, to help others is the greatest gift that can be given. I'm inspired. Can I wear the shoes as well as buy the NFT? I get the shoe. Like, I can actually wear them around, or am I not allowed to wear them and I have to put them on my wall?
That's completely up to you. But you do get wearables as well, and like a metaverse. We're deciding which one to build out, but it's looking like maybe probably Sandbox. So you buy the NFT, and then you can use the NFT to then claim and purchase the shoe. And then when you claim the shoe, your NFT gets replaced by a new one, and then that new one gives you access to metaverse wearables. And so we're gonna have like a Bitcoin get up, like imagine these colors, but a whole full body suit where you've got like maybe some gold trim glasses, and then you've got this red skin leathers, your hoodie, and then so we're going to take these colors and then put it through the entire outfit. So
I'll have to consult my fashion consultant Pat Mack on that, because he gives me feedback, nice feedback, on most days when I come in. He's like, bro, what are you wearing?
I'm super impressed that your hat matches your shoes.
Guess who
And your
gave me the
jacket.
shoes and the hat? Hey, have an awesome weekend, Charlie Brown. Thank you so much for giving all your time, for sharing, being an epic human that you are. Again, inspired, grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
love
much
you,
for
mate.
having me. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for what you guys are doing in the space. I found out about you guys through the block party that you're doing, and I was so stoked to find you guys. Ever since then, prior to that, I'd felt so alone in the space, and then now having the like friends and fam Discord, and then having the Manaaki app, I've just collaborated with so many people, met so many awesome people, so I felt really supported. So thank you for everything you guys are doing. It's making a huge difference. And let me know if there's any way.
Let's go. Yeah,
Chit-chat.
we're on the DMs now. See you, bud.
All
Take
right,
it easy.
thanks, bro. Chit-chat.
See ya. Bye.